like to get started if we could. And Lieutenant Santuccio is here to go through the budget with us and hopefully to answer our questions and to come to grips with the issues that we have. And I would like to start with two kind of general things. One was an organization chart for the sheriff and the dispatch. And the second area was the comments that Representative McCarthy had sent in about moving the dispatch and this question about hiring a prosecutor, and I'm not sure where that stands.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't have an organizational chart for dispatch. I thought you just wanted it for the sheriff's office, so.
Okay, well you can just tell us. Yep.
One of those copies is for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're hoarding it.
Oh. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, right.
Yes, you certainly did.
As far as dispatch goes, it's pretty simple. The sheriff oversees everything. The dispatch supervisor is Keith Brown.
Okay.
And he answers to me. Below him, we have 3 shift leaders. I got to speak up. Yeah. Below him, we have 3 shift leaders. Tina Marshall, Deb Newland, and Melissa Canty.
Okay.
And then the rest are the dispatchers that work for them. Typically, we have a shift leader on each shift with, a couple of dispatchers with them.
So you have a shift leader and 2 dispatchers generally.
Correct.
And just a question, do you have any idea what your volume is per day, or?
I can get you those numbers.
Okay.
I don't have them off the top of my head.
That's
but
fine.
We have that figured out already, yeah.
Okay.
This is the totality of it?
Of the shift?
As far as the sheriffs and deputies, yes.
Are any of these individuals on probation?
The 2, Stephen Rowe and Tobias Orfant, are recent hires.
Say, I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Deputy Stephen Rowe and Tobias Orfant are recent hires, and they would be on probation.
And the other one, new deputy, what is that?
We have 13 deputies, and we haven't filled that position yet.
If I may.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
What I'm getting at is I'm trying to figure out how many full-time deputies, other than those who are on probation, because they just don't have enough time yet to be fully, who are eligible for the clothing allowance. That's what I'm getting at.
Who are eligible for the clothing allowance?
Yes.
Per the union?
Yes. As of the union contract.
9. I think you're looking at 9.
9?
If strictly union people are 8. I'm sorry, 8.
8. That's all. 8 people.
As we sit here today, yes.
As we sit here today, who are eligible for the $500 a year clothing allowance as per the contract, the Teamsters Union contract.
Yes.
Okay. And let me just ask one other question here. You show Deputy Gino Scalia with the bailiffs. Is he's a bailiff, right?
Yes.
He's not a...
He is a part-time deputy, but he does work over at the courts.
Okay. All right.
He gets paid under the bailiffs.
Okay. But if he works
on the on the sheriff's side, then he is a part-time deputy.
Okay. And how many part-time people do you have? You know?
I'd have to go down, and I would say 5 or 6.
Okay.
What are they, 5, 6, what?
Part-time.
Part-time.
It might be more than that.
Okay, maybe you could give us the,
I can get you the figure.
that's fine. Did you have any questions?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Lieutenant, are you at full strength now with this, or you still have vacancies?
1 vacancy.
Which is a deputy,
Yes.
and that person would be under,
It's under the new deputy there.
okay. Okay, so I'm just, was trying to do this. I guess when the sheriff in September gave us this document, at that time he had 7 deputies with a vacancy for 3, and I'm just for 8. So with the new deputy, which hasn't been hired, that's 8. I'm just wondering where that vacant 3 came from. Is he?
Row to Orphant and the other vacancy, because those have just been filled, right?
Correct. Yep.
So that was authorized 7 and
Right.
3. Okay, that answers that question. Thank you.
Because, yeah, they were down considerably. Do you have a projection yet for when you're going to have on the new deputy? Do you have, what's going on with that?
We do have a candidate that's going through the hiring process right now, and if that doesn't work out, I assume the sheriff will start the process again and go to the next person on the list.
Okay, so we do, okay.
Maybe just ask one more.
Certainly.
So my understanding is now, I'm looking at the chart here, we're not going to replace the captain, is that the deal?
That's correct.
Okay.
Going to replace it with a deputy's position.
Okay. In performing the work that the former captain did, are we going to have like an equivalent contract employee that will be doing the IT work?
The IT work is going to, that which is one of the questions that was laid out here, it's going to be done by Cybertron. He's projected out to us, I think,
Go ahead, let him finish, go ahead.
projected out to like $54,000 at this point. And that's a figure that we don't know where that's going to land, where it's new to us. It could come in substantially less or higher, but that's just something that they gave us for a figure that we think we're safe with.
Okay. Thank you.
I had one question.
Sure, Dave.
Is the sheriff's department working towards more part-time people rather than full-time people? And if that's the case, why?
We're
We have
working.
5 or 6, you said, part-time people?
We've had 5 or 6 part-time people on for a while, and they're filling the slots that were left by some of the open deputy positions. They're there to fill shifts for people who are on vacations or that type of thing. But no, we're not working on filling more part-time slots.
You're not?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions on the organization chart? Okay. Representative McCarthy asked a question about the move of the dispatch area.
Okay.
Okay.
Just want to know why we're doing it, or what the...
Well, what he said is, by whose authority, appropriation, and at what cost has dispatch been moved to a different area? Absent a specific appropriation for the move, from where specifically did the funds originate?
$20,000 is coming from Ospey Valley Mutual Aid, which is the local, one of the fire entities that we dispatch for. And the other 16, I think the sheriff is intending on pulling out of computer expenses and then new equipment.
Ospey Valley what?
OVMA, Ospey Valley Mutual Aid.
Say that again, please.
Ospey Valley Mutual Aid.
And they gave how much?
20,000.
Was that as a grant?
No, they just pay, they are paying for $20,000 of it. There is no grant.
And the remainder came from where?
Sheriff's taking it out of new equipment from the dispatch center side of it and computer expenses on the sheriff's department side.
Okay, may I ask a question? The Board of Commissioners promulgated some rules and regulations not too long ago that stated that before any department head elected or appointed could move funds, they had to get permission from the Board of Commissioners. Do you know if that was done before this move of this $16,000 was made?
This was brought up at the commissioners' meeting, and the commissioners approved it as far as I know.
It was 15,000, not 16.
15 and change, okay.
15.
Okay.
15, and that was approved by the
Yeah.
commissioners to be moved from one line to another. Was it approved by line items or just in general? You can move 15,000.
Now, as I remember, it was out of the dispatch center equipment. However, I just learned today that some of it's taken out of the sheriff's department.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's the sheriff's intention, so.
Because I think what we're doing is we're mixing two different budgets. One is the sheriff's department budget, and the other one's a dispatch department budget.
Right. I'm just telling you what the sheriff's intent was, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much was in the dispatch new equipment?
$6,000.
That came from dispatch, new equipment,
Yes.
and the other 11 came from the sheriff's department somewhere?
Yep.
It wasn't 11, it was...
It's going to be computer expenses on the sheriff's office side.
And 9?
Mhm.
Came from the sheriff's, what?
Computer expenses?
And was that approved by the Board of Commissioners?
I was told by the sheriff that it was approved by the commissioners on a meeting that they had. I wasn't there for the specifics. Commissioner Sorensen's here, you can ask him.
I have to go back and look at the minutes, because I know we approved the 20,000.
Yes.
And he said he would take $15,000 out of his budget. That's all was said. Didn't say where it was coming from.
Okay. You have a meeting coming up on Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay. I would suggest that perhaps you have a discussion on that at your meeting and figure out what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure that I understood the reason for the dispatch move, and perhaps you can explain that.
We have a large volume of calls. We have 3 people on, for the most part, 24 hours a day. Right now, the equipment in there, we're starting. It's not like up to what OSHA expects it to be, with someone sitting there for 8 hours a day. The equipment we're getting is all certified through them, where they can raise, lower the seat, move the keyboard, move the monitors. What's in there now, the furniture basically is, what you'd see in a kitchen area.
So you're not actually physically moving dispatch, you're just improving the equipment?
We're improving the equipment, but while improving the equipment, because we can't go down for a long period of time, we decided to move them across the hall. Asked and got permission from the commissioners to move them across the building, put the furniture together and all that, and then move one console over at a time, so we're not down. So we're using another space. So yes, we are moving it.
Okay. But it was more for
The furniture.
the size of the furniture would no longer fit in the area.
Right. Yeah, it's a better fit.